So these are just examples of how you take all this equipment we've talked about and put it all together in a particular experiment. So this is the person getting ready to do this arm raise experiment while they're on the shuttle. So the first thing you notice here is microgravity, or in particular the shuttle, isn't like working in the lab. Right? First thing you see is when they let go of something, stuff starts floating. Okay, so that makes it kind of a difficult environment. What you can see here is, well, this is just the person being prepared. And instead of all the equipment that you have in the lab, that are all these shelves, you have to miniaturize everything so you can perform experiments in spaceflight. So all that equipment's on the shelf has now been reduced to putting it on a little vest. Okay, so all our electronics, how are we going to record, how are we going to power the system, all our little sensors have got to fit inside this vest. Okay, and that's just because the weight at launch. The less weight you can have, the better. So this is a longer view of this person doing the experiment or getting ready to. And you can see, I don't know how well you can tell, how small the shuttle is. So this is one wall, and this is the other wall. And so any kind of experiment you're going to do has got to fit within this amount of space. And these are their sleeping bags hanging on the wall here. You can just see there's technology all over the place. So you've got to design experiments that can be done in very confined places with very miniaturized equipment. So it's just an example. So here's the, where they go into the payload bay where they release the satellites and all those things. So here's that door. And again, you can just see how small it is. And she's getting prepared. So here's all the amplifiers that go with our electrodes. And I think that's it. So here now is an example from the Mir space station. So this is the woman that holds the record for longest consecutive days in spaceflight, Shannon Lewis, and this is one of her Russian cosmonaut partners. And so even though it's a space station, it's still only this wide. So it is not a luxury place to hang out and work in, especially for 6 months at a time with limited contact. So you see these things here that look like you went to Sears and bought them to put on the back of your dryer? Those are their air hoses to other modules. So you can see right here where they're going in, it's a hatch going into some other module, and these are literally how the air moves around in those cheesy looking hoses. So just to go up there, you got to have a lot of guts. So anyway, the point being here, you can see the same equipment. We performed this arm raise experiment on the Mir space station also, and this is, like I say, her partner getting her ready to perform the experiment. So those are just examples of how we've taken all this different equipment and adapted it for space flight. So all these different measures we just talked about and used them to try to gain information. Okay.